Hey Most Amazing Top 10 family, I'm your host Jada Rain and welcome back to Most Amazing Top 10. Most of us are living in happy, clean homes and we never have to worry about any creepy, crawly, sneaky things coming into our beds at night as we sleep, but some other people aren't so lucky and their homes have been taken over by some of the worst creatures imaginable. And that's why I'm bringing you today's list of top 10 scary house infestations. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Also stick around for the whole video because I'm going to be doing some more pet shoutouts, which you guys love so much. If you want me to shout out your pet, you can hit me up on Instagram. And if anyone at home wants some more Most Amazing Top 10 content, check us out on Instagram and Facebook. We are starting to do Facebook exclusive content. If any of you at home want to grab some merch, check out the link in the description below. Use the offer code MA10 that will give you $5 off, which means you can grab a t-shirt for only 10 bucks, which is a sweet deal. And without taking any longer, let's get into this list. At number 10, we have bed bugs. Ugh. Just saying those two words together gets anyone freaked out. Bed bugs will ruin more than just your mattress. They will get into everything you own and really wreak havoc on your whole life. If you let them get out of control, you have to if you hear about them, you gotta destroy them. The second you see any sign of them, you should have an exterminator come in because they are going to be destroying everything you own if you don't. Just like this.
Now we're gonna spray this, and
just seeing something like that makes my skin crawl. This video was taken by an exterminator in upstate New York. He said that this was a very extreme case. Most people deal with this type of pest way before it reaches this stage. How could you live in a place like this? This video is followed up by the treatment to get rid of these bloodsuckers. They heat blast them. So if you ever think you have them in your home, call the guy to come in and kill them, and also take every piece of clothing you own, put it into the washer in high heat and then into the dryer. You gotta blast these things until everything's dead. At number 9, we have spiders. Some of you might remember this. It was all over the news just a few years ago. It was the city of Etoliko in Greece. The entire scene looks like it was pulled out of a horror movie. Every inch of the beachside vegetation is covered with spider webs. Someone was getting these spiders all juiced up and they were spreading webs like crazy. Honestly, the nightmare fuel for this fire is actually climate change. Yeah, I bet when people first heard about climate change, they just thought, oh, the summers are gonna be longer. Not spider invasion from hell. There was an abnormally hot summer in Etoliko that year. This led to an increase in mosquitoes, which prompted the spiders to make way more webs than they usually try to do to catch all these mosquitoes. The increase in food and webs started them to breed like crazy. So I'll see all you guys in the spider covered apocalypse. At number 8, we have Snake Island. This place sounds like it's pulled right out of a cheesy 90s movie. It's right off the coast of Brazil and it's exactly what you think it would be. It's a place that has been overrun by snakes. There are so many snakes there that not a single living person can inhabit the island. It's actually impossible unless you want to die. If you tried to build a home on Snake Island, you would be dead before you knew it because most of the snakes on the island are venomous. There have been legends of snakes attacking people on boats coming from the island. Yeah, even when you pull up in the water, you're not safe. People say snakes will swim up to half a kilometer off the shore to nearby boats, get on the boats, and then attack and eat the people on board. My biggest question about Snake Island is what are all the snakes eating? I would assume that every type of animal would have died off except for maybe birds because they can fly around. Does that just mean there's a bunch of snakes eating other snakes until there's one champion snake left over? I think I just wrote the pitch for this cheesy 90s movie. See how I buttoned that up in like one beautiful thing? God, I'm so talented. At number 7, we have bees. Out of all of the infestations, I gotta say this one is kind of a 50-50 split. Because on one hand, you have a bunch of little flying bugs that would try to sting you to death. If you're allergic, it would only take one to send you to an early grave. But on the other hand, you would have an unlimited supply of honey growing right in your home. Think about it. You find a massive bee infestation in your home and instead of getting rid of it, you start a nice little honey business out of your house. Then, when life gives you a bee infestation, you make an organic honey farm. Now the part of this clip I'm about to show you that blows my mind isn't the bee infestation, but the guy who's removing all the bees from the infested home.
You come across them like we didn't expect like,
me as in general, or
bees and like
feral hives. On here, I tell.
Did you guys see that, right? He has no shirt on. I'm pretty sure that's against protocol. Maybe this guy's just been stung so many times that he's immune to bee stings, or maybe he just missed his calling and should have been making stunts with all the guys from Jackass. Like who, bees no shirt? That's insane. At number 6 we have termites. When I was a kid, cartoons taught me that termites wanted to eat everything in your home at every moment. It was termites and quicksand that you would always have to be on the lookout for. But thankfully, I grew up in Canada where it's too cold for either of those things to come in contact with me. I don't even think they really come in contact with that many people. But for those of you who grew up in much warmer places, you might have encountered something like this.
And when it was built, it had physical protection that goes around the house. And that's okay. Sometimes these sort of things fail, but a lot of the time.
Getting some of these in your home is horrible. They will literally eat the foundation away of your home until it's unlivable. The good thing is that more and more homes are made out of materials that make it harder for these little bugs to infest your home. But if you're living in an older home, you might want to get it checked every now and again because you never know when termites are going to come and walk in and just start eating everything. They kind of suck. And number 5, we have cockroaches. This is the quintessential infestation bug. When you think about a dirty home with pests running all over it, cockroaches are usually the first thing to come to mind. It depends on where you live to how common these little gross creatures are. I used to live in the Mexican Caribbean, and the warm weather combined with the humid climate would make those creatures flourish like you have no idea. You would have to have an exterminator come through every couple months just to keep it under control. That's the benefit of living somewhere cold. All the bugs die. But even if you live in a colder place, if you are hyper unclean, you can have something like this happen.
Those are cockroaches lining the upper part of the door. According to the landlord, Carmen Neapolitan, it was left this way when the tenant left.
How could you let that happen? This is disgusting. How would you be able to use your fridge? Like, how could you look into it, grab some food, and still have an appetite after seeing a bunch of dead roaches all around the opening? Ugh, it's making my skin gross. At number 4, we have mayflies. If you're not from the southern United States, you might have no idea what these things are. I had no idea until I made this video. But once a year, mayflies emerge from lakes and rivers and only have a 24-hour lifespan. And during those 24 hours, the cities look like this.
This is wild. They're all over the floor.
Those are all mayflies. They have one day to get everything done. They have to eat, molt, have sex, lay eggs, and then die. They are actually super healthy for the environment too because they leave behind a ton of food and fertilizer for the surrounding plants and animals. But for all those people living around the swarms, you better hope that you have screens on your windows because these things will be everywhere. Ugh, can you imagine being a mayfly? You're like, I gotta have sex right now or I'm gonna die. Like, I'm gonna die anyways, but I would rather have sex before I die. At number 3, we have hornets. A family in Louisiana had been neglecting their shed in their backyard for a little too long. Eventually they started noticing a lot of hornets flying around the property and they put 2 and 2 together and realized that the hornets were coming from their poor little shed. But they didn't realize how bad the situation was until they saw the exterminator's video afterwards. I like how this guy just pops in with that little can of spray, like, oh yeah, it seems like an impossible battle to win with just a little can of bug spray. But this may surprise you, the entire clean took about 45 minutes to get the bugs out. You think it would take way longer. I guess the only thing you need is that body armor so you don't get killed by a horde of flying knives that are trying to sting you to death. At number 2, we have ticks. A military family was stationed in Okinawa, Japan. I would love to live in a place like Okinawa, but this situation would really ruin any fun you might be able to pull off while living on the island. They started to find ticks all over their dogs and quickly found out the ticks were coming from inside the home.
It's now clear that the ticks aren't coming from the dogs. They're coming from the walls of the house.
They were everywhere.
It wasn't long before the ticks were crawling over every inch of their home. The worst part about ticks is they will not only try to feed on your home and animals, but they will also feed on you. They will attach themselves to your body and suck your blood until they get their fill. And on top of that, they spread awful diseases like Lyme disease, which can actually kill you. So try to avoid them. That's really the only advice I have. I'm not a tick expert. And for number 1 on the list, we have mice. Mice are supposed to be the little cute ones, right? They're like rats, but much nicer. That's what Disney taught me or something. Well, apparently these guys aren't that much nicer and can ruin someone's life in a really bad case just like this.
Was out of control.
This video was taken from a farm in Australia. This is an extreme case of a mouse infestation, but they aren't super uncommon. You will see a large breakout about once every 10 years. If something like this happens to a farm, then it can be an absolute disaster. Not only will they spread a massive amount of disease all over your farm, but they will also eat everything in sight, and not just crops. They will work as a swarm to take down animals too. Could you imagine being devoured by mice? That is probably one of the worst ways to die. Alright everyone, that is our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and as promised, I'm going to be doing some pet shoutouts. Remember, if you want me to shout out your pet, you can message me on Instagram. I pick new pets every day, so if you don't get picked one day, you can message back another day. It takes me a while to go through all these messages because I have so many to do, so if it takes me a while to get back to you, I'm very sorry, but I love the fans interacting, it's so great. And without taking any longer, let's shout out some pets. First, we have the snow-loving pup Sage. One of the cutest things you can find on the internet is a dog playing in the snow. It's absolutely wonderful. Then Alex sent in Titit. I think that's what it's supposed to be. You can just see him snuggled up on the couch. They're very, very cute. After that, we have Max. He's a happy boy, excited to have his picture taken. I love it. Then we have Tiger. Look at how cute she is with the tongue slipping out of her mouth. It's so cute. So cute. So cute. Oh my god. So cute. So cute. Rich sent in a picture of his cute doggo. Just sitting on the couch all fancy, like his legs all crossed. Just look at a little fancy dog. And finally we have Brev and Choco. They look like they're on a date. It actually melts my heart. Alright everyone, that has been our list. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I would love it if you could like, comment, subscribe, and hit the little notification bell. Until next time, I've been Shaderana, and I'm gonna try to stay infestation free. Bye.